Tell us your name and ask the question.
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Hani. I'm here from London, actually. And I come from the Sufi tradition, but I've been studying Vedanta for about 10 years now. So I'm a Vedantan Sufi, and I've learned from you, your lectures tremendously. So thank you. My question relates to reincarnation, because I see that the core teaching across all of the traditions match the non-duality is almost identical, I would say. But this area feels like a distinct difference of opinion. And the objection I hear is presented in kind of Aristotelian terms. If you're going from a causal potential state and become actualized, then the tree doesn't return to a seed state. So how is it possible to go from an actualized back to potential in order to see a cycle of reincarnation happen? And I know it's a big topic also, so maybe you can also point me to which books or scripture or commentaries specifically go into reincarnation in more philosophical detail, please. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question. This marks a fundamental difference between, say, the Indian tradition and the Abrahamic tradition. Now, in the Indian tradition, this karma and reincarnation is common to all the Indian traditions. It's an interesting thing. The Buddhists and the Hindus do not agree on fundamentals like the existence of God. Buddhists don't agree about the existence of God. Hindus say God exists. Buddhists don't agree about the Atman, like there is like eternal reality of the self called the Atman. Buddhists talk about Anatman, no self. And yet the Buddhists, all the Buddhists and all the Hindus and all the Jainas and all the Sikhs, they're all agreed on the fact that there is karma and reincarnation. So you see how karma leads to reincarnation. That part is clear. Because if there is no previous existence, then all this disparity cannot be explained. And if there is no future existence, then all the karma that we are doing and we have done in the past, where do the results go? So we must have existed earlier and we must exist in the future. And especially if we do not, there are more serious metaphysical consequences, like coming out of nothing and and then either disappearing into nothing or coming out of nothing and existing eternally, which also seems rather ridiculous. So you must have existed in some sense earlier, you must exist in some sense in the future. Notice all the Abrahamic religions say that you do exist after death. All of us do, otherwise religion doesn't make sense. All right. My personal way of, I'll go into details, but my personal way of reconciling these two is that the Indian traditions have a wider view of it. If you take a big circle, huge circle, and if you take a tiny piece of it, it looks like a straight line, birth to death. But if you step back, it seems going around, like you come back in a circle. All right. Now a little more detail. First, I'll take the tree example. So from a seed comes a plant and a tree, and then the tree dies. That tree is not reborn, is not actually continuing, but it gives rise to seeds, which continues in the form of new trees. And they are not exactly the same tree. This is what is called a type token difference in philosophy. The trees are all individual. They may be the same type, the same DNA continuing, fine. Now this seems to go against the Hindu view of reincarnation, where something persists over lifetime. It's the same thing being reborn again and again and again. But it matches quite well with the Buddhist idea of reincarnation. The Buddhist idea of reincarnation and the Hindu idea of reincarnation, there is some difference. The Buddhist idea of reincarnation is a process. It's like a wave in a rope. If you have a rope and you shake it and a wave propagates along the rope, it's not that the same thing is traveling down the rope. At every point the rope is lifted and comes down. So a certain impulse is transmitted across time and space. And so that might be a better way of describing the Buddhist view of reincarnation. What is the Hindu view of reincarnation? The Atman remaining unchanged. It is the subtle body. The subtle body, which is in Vedanta, it is the pranamaya, the 5 layers which we talked about, the pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya. These 3 are called the subtle body. And then there's the causal body. The causal body and the subtle body persist from lifetime to lifetime. It's only the physical body which is destroyed. So when the death comes, it's the death of the physical body. The subtle body goes on to take up new bodies. So the subtle body is not destroyed when death comes. The subtle body carries the impressions of past lives. And this is what is reborn. The Atman remains unchanged. In whichever philosophy, in Hindu philosophy, Advaita Vedanta, it's absolutely unchanged. Now, this is how they explain multiple lifetimes. And then when moksha, liberation is attained, physical body will die, of course, and the subtle body also stops propagating at the point of the death of the physical body. So the difference between the death of an enlightened person and death of a non-enlightened person is, at the death of the physical body of the enlightened person, the body dies and the subtle body disappears back into nature. The Mundaka Upanishad, other Upanishads speak about it. The unenlightened person, the body dies, but the subtle body goes on. So personality keeps on going from lifetime to lifetime. So this is the idea. Now, in non-duality, however, Advaita Vedanta, how this can be reconciled, the Abrahamic idea and the Indian idea is that in non-duality, karma and reincarnation, along with everything else, is relegated to what is called the transactional or the lower truth. So, what is the importance of rebirth, karma, in Advaita Vedanta? Answer is no importance at all. Is it essential to Advaita Vedanta? No. It is part of the lower truth. You want an explanation of what's going on here? A very good explanation is karma and reincarnation. But it's only an explanation because you're asking a question. The question itself happens to be wrong, so the explanation also does not hold much water. I'll give a little story anecdote and we'll stop it there. There was this monk of our order in the Himalayas in Uttarkashi. I know him. So at one time he had a bee in his bonnet about the Abrahamic idea of only one lifetime and the Indian idea of multiple lifetimes. Karma and rebirth. In Hindi it's called Punarjanma, rebirth. Which is true. This is true or that is true. And arguments in favor of this, arguments in favor of that, until the monks in the cottage got bored of it all. Nobody was willing to listen to his arguments. So he decided to take his dialectic outside the cottage to the next school, which was a school of a master who taught a very radical form of non-dualism, Advaita Vedanta. So this monk who belongs to our order, he went to this teacher and he said, Swami, here are those who say there's only one lifetime and no multiple lifetimes. And here is our so many theories which say that there's Punarjanma. So which is true? Punarjanma means multiple lifetime, rebirth. And the Swami said to him, महात्मा जी जब जन्म ही नहीं तो पुनर्जन्म काहे का? आप मांडुक्य पढ़िए. Oh monk, when there is no birth, where is the question of rebirth? Please read the Mandukya Upanishad. From the Advaitic perspective, let alone multiple lifetimes, they say there is no multiple lifetimes. So is it true that in the Abrahamic religions have it right? There is one lifetime. They say there is not even one lifetime. There is no birth at all. Are there multiple shows of the same movie or one show? Doesn't matter. It's a movie. If you see in the movie, the hero goes through these troubles and then finally triumphs and the movie comes to an end. And if you ask the question, will the hero have to go through it all over again and again and again and again? Maybe, maybe not. But the real answer is, not even once did the hero go through any of this. That's the answer. So from an Advaitic, from a dualistic Hindu perspective, it's a very serious question. And they will maintain rebirth, multiple lifetimes. Most Indian schools will maintain it very strongly, and they have very good reasons to do so. From an Advaitic position, you can see it's not an important question.
I see that. Any specific books that you would
one
point
book,
to?
Have you heard of Reza Kazemi?
Yes.
Right. So his Paths of Transcendence. It's a wonderful book. Have you seen that book?
Yes.
So there he compares Shankara, I think
Ibn
Arabi and Meister Eckhart. Yes. It's a really nice book.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. you.